The biggest thing about what's going on here is that Fatima keeps insisting that there is something in her body, that there is something inside her that is causing her to change, causing her to become something that she can feel is much, much worse than who she used to be.
I am pregnant. It's still there. I can feel it. I'm angry all the time.
It's okay.
Whatever is inside me, it's getting stronger.
No, there's a nightmare happening under my skin. You understand me? I can feel it getting stronger.
And we know she's right about what she's saying because we've seen her physically rejecting normal food and only accepting rotten fruits. And of course, we saw her drinking from a dead body. So this is not just happening in her mind. It's definitely this place forcing some type of change to happen to her body. There's something in Fromland that is targeting her specifically one way or another, whether she was infected like Boyd with the worms or something new we haven't seen yet. We know for a fact that there's something external to Fatima that is causing these changes to happen to her body. It could be the kimono demon or something completely new, but one way or another, Fatima is definitely being transformed. And she even says that she feels that she's getting angrier. And they also had Marielle specifically saying that Fatima was lucky that the ambulance came in with exactly what she needed. So the entity definitely put something inside her, and whatever that is, the entity is very invested in the growth of that being.
This place finally got to her.
Like Abby.
Yeah, like Abby.
I saw what happened with your fucking worms. And I saw what happened to Mom. Which fucking nightmare am I supposed to be afraid of?
What the entity is doing with Fatima is very, very clear. They keep drawing parallels to Boyd's wife and Fatima. So what they're saying is that whatever's happening to Fatima is directly because of this place, just like we saw with Boyd's wife. The entity is turning Fatima for specific reasons, and because of the characters directly comparing Boyd's wife to Fatima, like it can't be more obvious what's happening here. She's being corrupted by this place, just like what happened to Abby, just like what happened to Boyd's wife. And Ellis literally says that he doesn't know which nightmare he should fear more, her becoming a literal monster or her going postal like what happened with his mom. And Ellis's biggest fear, his biggest nightmare is having someone that he loves being corrupted by this place. And that's because of what happened with his mom. She went postal because she was corrupted by this place. And I have to mention, it's in this season specifically that the writers have started crediting the monsters as nightmare creatures. In the other seasons, they simply credited them as creatures. And here we literally have Ellis talking about his worst nightmare becoming a reality, like, what? The hints from the writers could not be any more obvious.
She heard voices and she tried to murder our child.
But that's different.
Why?
Those things happened once we got here, but my dream.
They told me things they couldn't know. They told me those 2 cars were coming. If I did what they said, we'd get to go home.
What I think a lot of people are missing is that Tabitha is using the same exact logic that Sarah was using with the voices. Sarah only started killing people after they told her in advance that 2 cars would be coming into the town. The problem is, Sarah didn't realize that the same entity controlling the voices is the same one who decides who comes and goes into and from the town. Like, what we're seeing here with Tabitha is that she believes she's on the right path because she saw the red stones before she entered the town. But just like Sarah, Tabitha doesn't understand that the entity can insert visions and therefore dreams into the people's minds, just like we saw happening with Randall seeing the cicadas. And with Elgin, it's once again the same exact thing that we saw with Sarah and that we are seeing right now with Tabitha. He's now going to be willing to do anything the kimono demon tells him because it told him about the secret room in the wine cellar. Just like Tabitha will believe anything that the children or the boy in white tell her because she saw the same red stones from her dream in Fromland. But This is the same tactic that was used on Sarah to make her believe that the voices were being honest and genuinely trying to help. So we are seeing this theme of people believing that they specifically were the ones who knew how to save everyone in the town many times in this show, and they've always been wrong.
It's not just the stones, it's everything, it's how it feels. Those things happened once we got here, but my dream.
Mom, you okay?
I was just thinking about this dream I had when I was a little girl. There's no way you could have survived out there, not if it was real. It's time to wake everybody up.
Boyd's wife also saw the town before she came in, just like with Tabitha. But guess what? She was led to believe that killing everyone would set them free, which is very similar to what happened with Sarah. And considering the writers repeatedly mentioned Boyd's wife in relation to what's going on with Fatima right now, it's obvious they want us to understand that Boyd's wife's descent into madness was not natural. She was manipulated, just like we're seeing happening with Fatima right now. And because we saw the boy sending Tabitha out of the town, and then we saw him in Camden, Maine, this means that the boy has power even outside the town, which implies that it was the boy who led Father Cartry into Fromland. And guess what? We also saw him manipulating Tabitha using the Ankui voices. So him manipulating Cartry by pretending to be God would not surprise me at all.
Free will and determinism. Miranda said she was chosen. And you saw this place as a child. You never really had a chance, did you?
And to me, this is the point of what Jade was saying in this scene. All these people were manipulated by this place to make sure that they would come. The game is rigged, and this is what these people don't understand. They never had a choice to begin with, just like Tabitha did not decide to come back into the town. The choice was made for her by the entity. And notice how the kimono demon is not telling Elgin, oh, you need to go free the children locked in the tower. No. Instead, he's being sent on a completely different mission that coincidentally has the same outcome as Tabitha freeing the children in the tower also supposedly has. Either the boy or the kimono demon have to be lying, or more likely, they're both the same being running the same scam, just tweaked for each individual's preferences. It's not a coincidence that Tabitha, who's already lost one child and has two currently in the town, is the same person being chosen to save the children locked in the tower. Oh, won't somebody save the children? And we know for a fact, because of Father Cartry, that the entity can project voices into people's heads even if they're outside Fromland. And what this means is that shady-ass priest probably also had a voice in his head claiming to be God, telling him, hey, if you see a girl coming in with a lunchbox, make sure to tell her to look inside that fucking box. Make sure you do that. And obviously that was done to guarantee that Tabitha would find Victor's house, and therefore Victor's dad, and bring him back into the town with her. And Tabitha's repeating nightmare about the red stones is more than likely the same story. It's the entity projecting those visions into her mind so that when it finally dragged her into the town, she would be ready to go and easy to manipulate, just like we've seen happening with her this entire show.